What's up, everybody? And today we are doing a new update on the Ukraine-Russia war. We've got some interesting summaries, some headlines here that is important to look at. If you've been looking at the BBC website like I have, because again, and I've said this in many videos, it is the best place for the most consistent summaries across the political spectrum, which means it's probably most likely most, how many times am I going to say most? And we're not just consistent, but reliable in that sense. So we're going to go over the headlines, and then we're going to go over the live map, because there is something big on the live map I do want to show you. Word of warning, it is clammy in the bus today. The AC is not on because Stephanie's cooking a giant cookie. 9 inches, Steph? 9 inches of cookie. It's going to be a big one. So I can't have the AC on, so I'm clammy, guys. I'm clammy. I apologize. It is what it is. We're going to do what we got to do. We're going to get these updates out to you guys, because there are people out there who love these updates and who rely on them, surprisingly. Did I do the question of the day? I didn't, did I? Let's pop this question of the day up. This comes from... Oh, bugger, where's it gone? Brandon Kuna. I apologize if I've got your name wrong. Steph, do you want to give it a try? Right here.
Cooner.
I don't know. I apologize if I got it wrong. Question says, question! If World War III started, would you join up? / what would it take, if anything, for you to join back up? I've always said I'd join up if it were fighting homeland, but to be fair, that would never realistically happen. What's your opinion? My priority is my children and my wife. Back in the day when I joined the Royal Marines, it was country. I was very patriotic. I loved England. I still love England. I live in the US now, and I have a family. My priority is my family. I would not leave their side, no matter what. And I would be always here to protect them more than anyone else or any place else. Okay, guys? And I'm sure any father out there would probably agree with me that family comes first. Obviously, protecting the family is most important to me. So if it meant protecting the family to go and do something, then I would. But I think if there was a war, my priority would be to stay with them and protect them. And move them out of an area that is, you know, in danger. Exactly. I wouldn't leave you, babe. Don't worry. I wouldn't leave her. I'm here to protect her. Got my commando dagger. Right here. Ready to go. To protect. If you want your question answered, leave it in the comment section down below, and we'll certainly get to that, guys, okay? But for now, let's pop this summary up, and let's have a good old chat about this. Oh, if you want to check out my active camouflage, the green screen looks terrible right now, but I can't solve it. If you want to look at the active camouflage, link down below. If you buy some merch, you can get a private video sent to you by me. It's a ton of fun. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's look at the summary. Again, BBC, best one I've seen for the most consistent headlines across the board, okay? NATO leaders will approve major increase in its forces in Eastern Europe at an emergency summit, NATO Secretary General says. This, I think, proves the fact that Putin has really kicked himself in the back, or in the foot. What's the saying? Kicked himself in the foot? I don't know. He's made a boo-boo. He's made a mistake. Putin has gone and done the thing he was scared of the most, and that's increasing NATO forces on his border. I hear this thing all the time about, like, how he doesn't want NATO to expand east, and yet he's taking Ukraine, which then means if he took Ukraine, NATO would literally be on his border. He's doing this because he wants Ukraine, but at the same time, this is only going to make things more intense with NATO, and this shows. Look, they're increasing forces on the eastern side of Europe. Exactly what Putin didn't want. So, shot himself in the foot. Jens Stoltenberg says 4 new battle groups will be sent to Slovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania. There you go. There's people going to the front line now. Ready. They're ready. Things are escalating, guys. US President Joe Biden is traveling to Brussels for a NATO summit on Thursday. This is recorded on Thursday, so unless they mean a different Thursday, we'll try and look at that in the middle here. This is being recorded Thursday, 3:20 Central Time, US. So maybe we'll get some news in the next few days about that. Unless it means next Thursday, we'll look into that. The US says the members of Russia's forces have committed war crimes in Ukraine. They have. And I said this time and time again. I'm glad the US have said this, right? It's not just Putin. Putin's obviously telling people where to go, what to do, and all this good stuff. All this bad stuff, should I say. But there is Russian soldiers out there who are shooting, who are doing the bad things, right? And they know they're doing it. They're committing war crimes and they need to be held accountable. There's reports of the Ukrainian flag being raised again in the suburbs of Makarev, west of the capital Kiev. So again, this is more proof Ukraine are fighting back. They're doing great. They're doing fantastic. And they are pushing the Russian forces back. And I'm going to show you that in the map. I want to show you something massive in the map. But Russian bombardment of the southern port city of Mariupol continues unabated, with some 100,000 people said to be trapped there. 100,000 people. That's women, children, elderly, all trapped there, and it's being bombed by Russian soldiers. They know they're doing this. They know they're doing it. Therefore, they need to be held accountable. They are killing innocent children, women, and elderly people. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Let's look at this here. Is this the same page that we're on right now? Oh, looks like we've got more summary right here. So when was that? March 23rd. So this was yesterday. This was a summary from yesterday. Okay, let's go over to this one. Let's look at more summary. And we might get some of that about the whole Joe Biden. US President Joe Biden says NATO has never been more united. The opposite of what President Putin expected to happen, he says. Exactly. NATO is more aligned now than ever before. There is eyes on every single war more than ever before. The fight in Ukraine is going to make people look at things like Taiwan next to China. It's going to look at other wars, other dangers around the world, completely different than what they used to. Completely different. This event has changed the world. I'm telling you that right now. He spoke after NATO leaders approved major increase in alliance forces in Eastern Europe at an emergency summit in Brussels. So it's all happened already. It's all happened. NATO's Jens Stoltenberg says 4 new battle groups were made. 40,000 troops will be sent. 40,000. That's 10,000 each, roughly, unless it's lopsided in some way, to Slovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, and Romania. That is massive. That is ginormous. The UK will send 6,000 more missiles to Ukraine as Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the country is not alone in fighting against Russia. Again, the NATO are slowly starting to push now. What's happened is Russia have really started to push on Ukraine. They've started to take it, and NATO have been slowly doing it through sanctions, through all these different things. Now they're completely bolstering the border of Ukraine to the rest of these NATO joined countries, and they're ready. They are ready right now. It's crazy. A Russian ship is destroyed and 2 others damaged in the occupied Ukrainian port of Berdyansk, Ukraine says. Again, Russia, they're making a bit of ground, but they're not doing that well. And I'm going to prove that in the map in a second. President Zelensky has asked people everywhere to take to the streets in a show of support to mark 1 month of Russian invasion. It's taken them a month and they've still not taken Ukraine. Russia are struggling way more than people think. All they're doing is bombing things and hoping it works. Killing innocent civilians. The US says members of Russia's forces have committed war crimes in Ukraine. We already went through that. The UK extends sanctions to include 65 more Russian individuals and organizations, including Wagner Group of mercenaries. There you go. Add the sanctions. And the countries that are letting these mercenaries go, sanction them as well. Canada says it will help boost energy supplies. Okay. Ukraine can certainly win, says Boris Johnson. They can. They can. So this is going over today's key developments, which again, I think this is probably going to be going over, the majority of what we've just said, probably into a little bit more detail. If anyone wants to read that, you can. But I'm going to go over to the live map because I've got some big things to talk about over there. For the Ukrainians, the world has ended already. Exactly. We believe in what we're fighting for. I tell you what, hat off to the Ukrainians. They are putting up a bigger fight than anyone would have ever expected. Look at my videos when the invasion started. My prediction was 2 weeks. They've doubled that. It's been a month and they've still not even made enough progress to take the country. It's absolutely crazy how well they're doing. What did President Biden say? Okay. The US is announcing new sanctions on more than 400 individuals and entities, including more than 300 members of the Russian Duma, oligarchs, and defense companies. NATO has never been more united, in which which is the opposite of what Putin expected. If Russia were to use chemical weapons, the US would respond, and the nature of the response will depend on the nature of the use. Okay? So he's basically like, he's giving like an open-ended threat there. Instead of just being like, we'll bomb you, or we'll hurt you, or we'll do untold damage to you, it's like, we're going to see what you do, and if you do something that's big, we'll also do something that's big. Do you know what I mean? It's like a bit of mind games there from Biden. Biden has said he has made clear to Chinese President Xi Jinping that he would be putting his economic relations with the US and the EU in significant jeopardy if he were to help Russia. This is a big one. This is a big one. If China wanted to ruin the economy of the US, they certainly could. They certainly could. Now, my thought is, could we do it the other way? If we turn around and said, we don't want anything to do with China anymore, I think it would hurt us a lot, but I think it would also hurt China. So this is a very interesting threat he's putting in here. He's right. Biden's right in saying this. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you were on. I think he's right in saying this. I think any president would have said this. If China helped Russia, you're also going to, see the consequences. I think the consequences could hurt the US more than it would hurt if we put sanctions on Russia. Like, we're seeing oil prices go up, but that's nothing to do with Russia. That's just companies being greedy. If we did it with China, though, it's a different ballgame. It's a different ballgame. The US president said he would like to see Russia removed from the G20, but if that's not possible, Ukraine should attend as an observer. I like that. I like that. He stressed that Western countries must stay totally, thoroughly united. That's kind of his big thing, Biden, isn't it? Unite, people, unite. And I don't think he's the person that's going to be able to do that. I think this war in general and the amount of eyes on this war are what's uniting the countries. Let's go over to the live map real quick. There's something big I want to show you. All this is roughly the same as what it was, right? Can you see it already? Can you see it already? Because I certainly can. Obviously, they've taken a bit down here. Look at this. Look at this. Where's the red gone? Where's the red gone? Might not look that big of a deal to you guys, but they've got rid of it here. That means all this area here now is not surrounded. What's this say right here? Ukrainian army cleared village in Kiev region. The Ukrainian army are fighting back. Look at this. They've stopped this tactic from happening. I said this in a video or two ago about these updates. The red was all covered here. And I said, around these kind of tight areas, near these little towns here, would be a great place to kind of split this and give more, basically bolster this middle part. Because this middle part is going to really struggle once this is all taken in. But it was taken in. And now look, they're fighting back. They're fighting back. Unbelievable. That's all I really need to show you on the map to show how well Ukraine are really doing here. They're fighting back so much that they're taking land back. Everyone was saying, oh, yeah, you keep saying, Russia are losing. But look, they're still making ground. Not anymore. Not anymore. Ukraine are losing. They're not just stalling anymore. They're starting to lose. All they're doing, look at this. Bombing. But all they're doing is bombing. Bombing. What's this? Heavy smoke. Over maybe up here is maybe the only place. Russian army assaulted town in Kiev region. Okay, but the rest of it, look. Civilians killed. Bombing. Shelling. 30 people under rubble. Shelling damage. All of it. Russian airstrike. Everywhere. That's all it is. Shelled. That's all they can do. That's all they can do. More shelled. That's literally all they can do. They can't fight on the ground. Ukraine are winning. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, guys. This is what we want to see. Ukrainians fighting back, not only to stall the Russian army, but they're beating them. They're beating them. Say what you want in the comments, but I'm not wrong. It's there on the map. It's there on the map. Well done, Ukraine. I hope you can keep it up, and I hope that this amount of... There's a helicopter going past. I hope you can't hear it in the mic. But I hope that this amount of slowing down of Russian forces doesn't make them more powerful to swipe through. That's my biggest hope. I hope Ukraine keep at it. I hope they keep momentum. I hope they push back. And then I think Russia will start to get desperate. I really do. And then we've got to be very careful on what's going to happen. But I said that 2 weeks ago, and nothing's happened. So we're in a good spot. We're in a good spot right now, or at least better than what we was. There are still civilians struggling that need humanitarian support. So let's hope they get that. Members, you're nearly gone already. I love you. I couldn't do this without you. I honestly couldn't make videos every single day if it wasn't for these members that have gone past the screen already. Thank you for supporting the channel. Updates will be coming thorough through the next week. Because I think with all these kind of meetings and threats that's going on with NATO, I think we're going to see more action from Putin. So I'll be doing more updates in the near future. Get your comments down below if you want them. Get your merch down below if you want it. Halo video end of the week. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.